All right, we're going to talk today about different types of scams or potential scams or what appear to be
Dun dun
scams.
dun.
First one on my list is showcases, potential scams. We've all seen them. You have to pay anywhere from $100 to thousands of dollars, and with the promise of you're going to be seen, you're going to get an offer. Vanderbilt's there, Michigan's there, DeVry, all the schools that you're interested in, they're all going to be there.
The DeVry School of Welding is going to be there.
Right. So then you show up to these, and you get the Vanderbilt coach who's the third assistant or a assistant to the regional coach.
Huh?
And what do you get out of these?
Not much. I mean, what cracks me up is that it's not just the camps and showcases. If you're going to a camp to learn some new skills and such, I'm all for that. If it's about being seen, the ones that crack me up are the ones that are 12 years old and they're paying these outrageous fees to go to these showcases to test how hard they throw and things like that. Come into our CST facility and we can tell you how hard you throw for a heck of a lot cheaper. No coach is looking at a 12-year-old. You might see on Twitter there's a unicorn out there where a 12-year-old can hit bombs and throw hard, but those are far and few between. If you're that average kid at 12, 13, 14, no coaches are looking at you. They are scams at that age. Now, if you're 17, 18, and you're looking to get on somebody's radar, those are great introductions. But again, they're not going to be passing out that magic slip, that's got money on it as you walk off the field at the end.
Now, let's be clear. We're not saying that a particular company is bad. We're saying that people should do their research, and sometimes you got to be careful what you're signing up for or what you think you're signing up for. On the flip side of that, in the recruiting process, you do need to share metrics. And people, if you're in your backyard with your son and you've got your radar gun out, that is not as credible as, let's say, going to a well-known showcase and getting verified data.
Right, but when you're 12 years old and you get that verified data, guess what? That data shows up in your profile online for everybody to see, and it stays there until you update it. So which means you have to go back and pay that fee again at a later date to update it. Because when you're 17, 18 years old, there's your 12U data right there that you throw 50 miles an hour, from the mound until you pay that big fee again to update it.
What I think also is a scam within the scam we're talking about is the rankings. Because I have, with my own eyes, seen players, and I look at the number 3 catcher, and I look at the number 32 catcher, and the number 32 catcher is, by most people's estimation, way better than that number 3 catcher.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all they're doing is testing you. Like, for example, your catchers, those will crack me up. They're doing pop time, standing completely up, and a lot of them.
Or what about when they have a pop time of less than 2, but they only throw 70 miles an hour?
I like the ones that are like...
Doesn't that physics...
1.78?
Well, doesn't science and physics and math say that that's not possible?
You would think so. But, yeah, they're I'm telling you, these showcases are scams. If you're going there with a purpose, that's one thing. But if you're just going there to, I'm going to get my ranking and I want to be better than this kid and all that, they're total scams.
You have to do that part of the recruiting process. So you need to be ready to put up that data that that you want to promote. So that is at what time? Is that somebody's junior year?
Well, I think when you feel you're physically ready to put up metrics that you want to put in front of a college coach, that when he's looking to recruit you, these are the metrics I want to put up to be recruited. When you're ready to do that, that's when you can go to the showcase and get those verified metrics. Those young guys, and you got those pumped up dads over there on the side cheering them on. If you want the experience, and now if you go to one, maybe when they're younger or something, just to get the experience for it, so they're not as nervous or things like that. Yeah, I can kind of see that a little bit. But if you're doing it because you want the metrics to show you're the top 13U kid in the county, no, man, save your money.
All right, our next scam. Some, not all, some travel programs or teams.
You're going to be able to speak for this because you know more travel teams than I do in this case.
Yeah, but here's what really irritates me is you've got different types of programs. You've got the nationwide one and BC, and you're going to get recruited, and you're going to get your full ride scholarship, including housing and everything else. And then what I like is I look at the list of stuff that they're offering, and it cracks me up. Oh, it includes working out, it includes a meal program. Well, it includes it at an extra cost. So you're paying a huge fee, then you're adding on your meal plan and your workout program and everything else. It irritates me that they promote this stuff and the parents come away with the impression that their kid is going to play for this team and they're going to come away with a scholarship.
Yeah, I'm telling you, some of these teams, the stuff they promote to parents, it should be flat out illegal, because some of them promote the world just short of saying you're going to be playing at University of Michigan or something, and there's just no way.
This episode of Two Average Daves is brought to you by our sponsor, Full Count Glove Relacing. Get your baseball glove back in the game. Don't take your glove to a shoe repair business or expect a nice kid at the sporting goods store to know how to relace it. Have a baseball guy fix your baseball glove. Reach out to Brian Spence at 248-217-3979. And for as little as $20, he'll get your glove back in the game. Visit the Full Count website at full-count-glove-relacing.com.
All right, next one. Recruiting services. Different than showcases, but there's a lot of sites out there that say, sign us up, we're going to help promote yourself, and we're going to be your recruiting service. And I've seen them anywhere from $99 to like $10,000.
Yeah, the recruiting services, some people are very adamant for them, some people are very adamant against them. And everything the recruiting service provides for you, yes, you can do on your own without using the recruiting service. The recruiting service, as we've talked about before, is a tool to use. It does a good job of organizing all the information into one place, into a one-stop shopping, so to speak, for you. And you can quickly find it and research schools and help minimize that time. But can you do it without the recruiting service? Absolutely. You can do all this stuff without the recruiting. You can look up schools, you can look up email addresses of coaches, you can look up phone numbers, you can look up rosters, you can do all of that. The one thing I will say about some of these recruiting services, if you're not really sure about where you want to go, it does an interesting job, some of them, of identifying schools that you may have never heard of or maybe never thought of, and organize them. I'm not pro recruiting service. I'm not against them either. I think everybody needs a judge for themselves. If you got a little bit of extra money and you're willing to do it, it's a good tool. But can you do it without it? Absolutely.
Flipping around, going to showcase tournaments. These always crack me up because there's tournament companies out there for travel baseball that brand themselves, this is a showcase tournament. This is an elite showcase tournament. This is a national elite showcase tournament. Sounds like a lot of marketing.
How many different names are there for elite now? There's prospects, there's elite, all these different names.
Elite, triple stamped, prime.
Yeah, exactly.
So the showcase tournaments, it's the promise of there's going to be all these college coaches running around and your player is going to be seen. What's the reality of that?
Slim to none. The biggest thing about it is if you don't have that relationship already with some of these coaches, unless you come out and you're throwing blazing, speed, and you're throwing strikes, and you're hitting dingers every time you're up the bat. If you don't have that relationship ahead of time with these coaches when you're going to them, they're not really looking for you. And it's kind of like we've talked in previous podcasts about, if you're good, they'll find you. Well, not always. There's some unicorns out there where they'll see a play or something like this, and they might be interested. It might start the conversation, but for the most part,
they're coming to go to see a certain game and watch a certain player.
Yep.
And if you happen to be on the same field as that certain player with that school that you actually want to go to, which is basically like a lottery ticket,
right,
in as far as odds go.
And even then, that's just going to start the ball rolling. That's not going to. You're not going to walk off the field and get that golden ticket of the scholarship. That's just going to start the ball rolling. Like, hey, we liked what you did. Maybe come to our camp, or hey, come do a visit or something like that. That's. And that's what you're looking for at these showcase tournaments. Great, but that doesn't happen for everybody.
But I talk to parents all the time, and they're saying we want to play in showcase tournaments. That's where they're going to be seen. That's where they're going to, get their offer from.
And how many of them have got offers from that?
Very few.
Very few. And maybe that's where you're hoping for that one lucky lotto ticket. As I was telling some of our parents, that play in our fall ball, they've gone through 4 years of high school, 4 years of travel ball, and they've got nothing. And you play 5 weeks with us in our fall ball and do the things we ask, you're getting offers.
So piggyback off the tournament thought, this one's always been a pet peeve of mine, the dreaded gate fees.
The grandparent tax.
The gate fees, I don't understand. Why can't you just raise the price of the tournament $100 per team and call it a day?
Hey, I'm telling you, sometimes you hit that gold mine of that one kid who's got aunts, uncles, grandparents, that whole family that wants to come watch him play, and you just cha-ching all the way to the bank,
So I have a theory, and it's probably off base, but I think that is the tournament director's way of making some cash that goes right into his pocket.
The one for you, one for me,
Yes,
kind of mentality? Maybe. I'm not saying it's happening, but
I also think it promotes lying, because I have a lot of kids, as you know, and I'm like, yeah, you're 2 today. But Daddy, I'm 6. Nope, you're 2. It's 2 and under is free, so you're 2.
well, it does get. I've seen some families get pretty creative, where they'll send the young one around and look for holes in the fence, to climb through, So it does promote some family bonding and some creativity.
Last one on my list I've got is, I have a lot of parents that think a $1,000 bat is going to make their kid a superstar. And it's way better than a $900 bat, and it's acres ahead of an $800 bat. And don't even talk to me about a $700 bat, and a $600 bat, forget it.
The $1,000 whiff, because if you can't hit that ball, it doesn't matter how much that bat costs,
I watch in the MSBL, the local adult league. It's funny because some of the best hitters in the league have bats that cost $60, and other guys, they're not as good, and they have a $300 wooden bat.
Yep.
How you swing it is more important than how much it costs. But every year, we see the kids that are all geared up. Grandma and Grandpa bought them the latest bat. The last year's $1,000 bat is no good. There's new technology that's. This $1,000 bat is the new hotness.
Hey, those guys at those companies, those bat companies, are marketing geniuses. They can sell ice to Eskimos, because you're right. Every year they got to have the latest technology of bat, and really it's just a new paint job. And that's really all it is. Bats, for the most part, bat's a bat.
I knew it got out of control when they had a lease program, and you could turn back in your lease of your bat.
Uh-huh.
That's how out of control it's
gotten. With the monthly payment's more than your lease of your car.
Hey, I got a good 30-year fixed on my bat.
Yeah.
This episode of Two Average Daves is brought to you by our sponsor, FullCountGloveRelacing.com. Get your glove back in the game. Don't take your glove to a nice kid at a sporting goods store who doesn't know a thing about glove relacing. Have a baseball guy fix your baseball glove. Reach out to Brian Spence, and it's for as little as $20, he will get your glove back in the game. It's full-count-glove-relacing.com.